Hey there. This week's episode will largely be an audio-only episode as our video editor is currently busy. We appreciate your patience and hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Vol Stars, a Gammastrike production.
Welcome to Vol Stars, where we talk everything markets and those who make them. Today's episode is brought to you by Truth Social TV and their newest pilot. Listen to a sneak peek exclusively on Vol Stars.
Kushner goes to Pakistan. He went there last week, now he's going again. Kushner goes to Pakistan. There is no discussion, there isn't a plan. Axios is running out of headlines to run. Is that another fireball or just glare from the sun? Preemptively defending our undeployed daughters and sons. And he keeps sending Jared for fun just because Trump sends him to the front lines like Uriah the Hittite, so he can spend more time with Ivanka in the night. Iran isn't budging and he's got Epstein files to hide. So Kushner goes to Pakistan. He's dying inside.
And finally, by Gammastrike.com, providing actual real-time data for every type of trader. You've tried the rest, now try the best. Gammastrike.com. I'm Jay Fresh, and I'm joined by our co-hosts, Kirkin and Dork. Let's get into the market overview.
Did Kushner go to Pakistan again? Are you preparing the pitch booklet to give to
Ricky Gervais, yes.
Ricky Gervais for the television series?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
All right, so oil in Iran. Once again, here we are.
Yeah, we got some new news today. It's not exciting. It's a lot of the same shit. But the president of Iran, who Axios, as you noted, has been reporting a lot of really great things about negotiations alongside Trump. Well, he's resigned and announced that the IRGC is taking over the country.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's a bit of a change. Obviously we don't have any solution. There's no ceasefire. There's not even a memorandum of understanding yet.
What about a letter of intent?
Which is amazing, because not only we went from ceasefire
Okay, hold on.
and peace to just accepting that kind of getting along enough to hold another meeting would be sufficient to solve the problem.
Okay, but there was you're being a little bit too pessimistic. There was definitely a framework for an understanding for the creation of a future MOU.
I feel like there's
between
more of
various parties on the U.S. side with no input from Iran.
Wait, there were LOIs for
okay.
the MOU?
Yeah, it's more of like an IOU for the MOU. Kind of like there's not, like, Jay First has almost nailed it. Like there's a structure for a talk that might occur that could potentially be the basis for a meeting about creating an MOU.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
I heard word on the street as a tanker went through the Strait of Hormuz.
Did it?
Yeah, a
Did
tanker.
it pay the toll?
The troll toll?
Did it pay the troll toll?
I don't know if they paid the troll toll. I just know that that's one of, I think, 2 tankers that went through in the last week or something like that. 2 or 3. So they're slowly. I mean, it's obviously like a tiny fraction of what should be rolling through there. But I mean, there's like some piddly dribbles of oil going through the strait.
You think that Iran is just shipping LNG and oil across its eastern border to Pakistan?
Probably, but I think that the whole letting a tanker through.
I was kidding. They are.
I think that the whole tanker thing is it's part of a leverage deal where basically they just, every time they let a tanker through, they basically make oil drop by like 40 basis points. And so it's just them just like kind of, giving us a little hit.
Weren't they doing more mining There was some more mining last week. We had to shoot at them because they were mining the strait again right after they were totally going to do a peace deal. Oh, also, Bibi announced today that he's going to expand operations against Lebanon, despite all of the really nice talks about the U.S. intermediating between them, Lebanon, and Israel for a ceasefire. Bibi was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to attack them even harder.
Well, what they meant by intermediate was actually integrate. And so that's why we're getting our
Same
armed forces to integrate with Israel so that when it comes to Lebanon, we can make sure and be right there to provide them support right when they need it. Yeah. So, it's especially the thing that's a hot button topic with voters these days with the whole like whether or not a candidate is supported by AIPAC and all that. But, I mean, while the going's good, the good get going. So what can you say, right? Hustler's gonna hustle.
All right, so then the big $1 million question, why is oil so low?
Is it?
I mean, it is.
I mean,
but
Wait,
it's under
it's not.
90.
That's not low.
Yeah, it's not high.
Have we redefined what high oil prices are?
When the Strait of Hormuz closed, yes.
The price is going in the wrong direction from what everybody expects, including like the CEOs of Exxon and I don't remember who the other one was.
Yeah.
The CEO of Exxon thinks oil is going to go to like 180 a barrel.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. has like 3 weeks of strategic reserve left.
So
no, I think
oil to
the
60?
refineries have like a few weeks of reserves left, which is separate from the SPR, but that's unrefined crude.
So if the refineries shut down, that's actually a huge problem because those things take fucking forever to get back on.
No, they wouldn't shut down. They would just run out of reserves. They wouldn't be able to.
Well, yeah.
Right? Everybody has. There's private reserves and public reserves, and the private reserves are finished oil, I believe. They have some amount of finished oil, which they're.
I mean, gasoline reserves are always real narrow. Like refinement to pump is like 30 days or something like that. So there's not like a big stockpile at that end of the production line. And then we also have like minimum drawdown levels for the SPR because you have to have reserves maintained for the military and shit and like, food scarcity and stuff like that. So
well, you also just have to keep it. You can't pull too much out, or the salt mines might collapse, and then you have nowhere to put more oil later.
Ooh, fun.
True.
I didn't even think about that.
I was just thinking of like,
I don't know what the absolute minimum is, but I think it's something around like 200 million barrels, but
just to maintain the structural integrity.
Yeah, I mean, we're still higher than we were at the lowest point in Biden's administration, but we're getting real close to that point.
I mean, Biden's the greatest oil trader in history. I think the history books will reflect that he made some of the greatest oil trades known to man.
Well, this is Trump making the oil trade this time, so I think the assumption should be that oil is going to go massively higher.
Right. My only so what I was talking about with the refineries is just like if we do have to take refineries offline because there's just not enough volume to go through them, that's a major problem. Because one, spinning them down takes a long time, and two, spinning them back up takes even longer. Because there's just so many moving parts. I mean, if you've ever been through a refinery, they're like just a city of pipes and confusion. And somehow it works. One of those things, it's like one of those things you look at and it makes you thankful. You just go to the pump and have gas or flip the light switch and the lights turn on, that kind of thing. Definitely is one of those moments for you if you look at one of those refineries.
It's like Adobe Photoshop. They just kept making features one at a time and throwing them somewhere. And they're just like, where do we put this one? So let's put it at the end of the list.
Just go along that pipe. And now there's like 60 pipes in a row.
All right, just add it to that pipe.
We don't use that pipe anymore.
Tee it off there.
So Trump can authorize releases, but the legal floor is like 252.4 million barrels. From March 20th to May 22nd, we went from 415,000 to 365,000. that
Yeah,
look
it sounds
right?
like we got about 3 months left before we hit that. Because we're bleeding down around
Well, no,
nine to
because
10
the demand on
a
reserves
week.
increases exponentially as the oil supply constraints run
Well,
down.
sure, but at the current rate of like 10 million barrels a week, we've got about 3 months left.
See, what I'm wondering more than oil prices is why have treasuries taken a little boosty boost in price over the last little bit here? Maybe
I
it's
mean,
all
it's
kind of
hard to
related.
resist 5%.
It is.
I wonder if
It
we
This
is.
fall
happens every
below
time we
our
hit there.
import. What is this?
What, treasuries?
Treasuries?
Yeah,
Treasuries.
I'm just thinking about them. Well,
No.
so do I pull out the squiggle chart again or nah? Because the squiggle chart's telling me that what happened was the short end of the curve was diverging a little too far from the federal funds rate, and then immediately went right back under and is working its way back over the federal funds rate. So, anyways, I think there's something interesting happening here, and it may just be, I guess you call them bond traders, bond vigilantes. They're not really bond vigilantes. They're just people buying fucking bonds. They're doing it. They're
What
buying
are
them.
they? They're buying them?
I mean, they were. It looks like they were buying the shit out of them for a couple days there.
Yeah, we got a big drop from the upside test on the 10-year.
Yeah.
But
So, I mean, that might be related to oil doing a little dippity doo-dah from the $100 high of March or May, I mean. So, also
Yeah,
VIX
it's really
tanking.
it's impossible to really tell. Yeah, I mean that's a big story as well. We could talk about that in later on, but
I
I
think
mean
I
with
think
the
this is the chud. I think
bonds,
this is the chud vigilantes moving in. The nothing ever happens crowd. They're rolling in right now, being full chuds.
I mean they're always rolling in.
I think a lot of the buying that's going on is just due to the it's been due to like the pump in like equities and like the push up that we had in the dollar just kind of running off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that it's like
Because the dollar hasn't come down.
idiosyncratically related to.
That's true. The dollar has not come down. That Girk makes a very interesting point there. Dollar's still at 98, 94.
I don't know.
Which
The
is-
dollar hasn't come down in terms of the dollar, but then you got. I don't know how much I believe this, but like for example, I noted this week I was looking at Wix.com's earnings, and they noted they were letting a bunch of their workforce go, and they claimed two reasons. One was AI, and the other was because of the strength of the shekel against the dollar. Because most of their income is in dollars, and most of their costs, they're obviously an Israeli company, so most of their costs are in shekels.
Interesting. Maybe there's something to look into there. I'll have to do.
It could
some
also
Forex
just be a
digging.
lie, right? Because there's no way that they're actually firing people because of AI, right?
Right, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, this shekel thing is interesting. I mean, I'd much rather look into that than this stupid narrative they're painting. I mean, the AI narrative is a convenient way to say we hired way too many fucking people and now we're laying them off. But the shekel thing, I'm gonna have to look into some Forex stuff.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I just thought it was interesting that it showed up in their earnings. They're like, oh, the shekel's real strong against the dollar. I was like, oh.
Well, the dollar's still really strong
Anyway,
against the yen, so there's
if our
that.
listener is a expert in shekels,
A Forex expert.
Send us a letter. Yeah.
I mean, we could just look up at the shekel to the dollar, right?
No, that's not possible.
No? Oh, okay.
It doesn't. There's no technology that allows.
We
that
need
to
a
happen.
fourth party.
Yes.
Yes. We need a content expert. Somebody who knows what people know.
US DILS has been tanking. Damn. Hold on. This is wild.
How much is it down?
From the peak?
From the peak in 2024, 31%.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry, that was
Interesting.
October 23. I wonder what else happened in October of 2023 that could have changed everything.
Yellen's juice caboose?
You know it. That is when the caboose was juiced.
We just won't explain that to our listeners. We'll leave it up to their
Oh
imagination.
my God. Did Yellen do this? Did Yellen start Israeli imperialism by crashing the shekel to the dollar? Or the dollar to the shekel? I guess it depends on how you want to look at it.
You know what's even crazier? Janet Yellen is Jewish.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just stating facts.
Correlations, huh? Just bringing up
I'm
correlations.
not I have made no correlations.
Okay, Jay Fresh. Yeah, no, it's actually interesting what's going on. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put too much on it because it's just a week worth of price action with a shortened week due to Memorial Day. But you know, interesting nonetheless. The Treasury part, I think, is something I'm interested in, but I'm definitely going to dig into the Forex stuff a little more and see what's going on. Might take me a little bit though.
Well, I think let's go ahead and move over to discussing the squeeze on American wallets. That is, I say definitely their oil has been a factor, right? I mean, PC's gone up, real wage growth, even by official measures, is no longer positive, right? It's now below inflation. We saw basically that the savings rate has gone down to almost the lowest ever, 2.6%, which I thought, based on how it was trending even just a few weeks ago, that we had a few months left before we got to that point, and then we just boom, we hit it a month, which is no bueno. I saw someone posted something the other day about Fidelity said that people are dipping into their 401ks a little bit more than usual and
I saw
doing
that
like
article.
the emergency funds.
Mm-hmm.
It's always hard to like parse it. First of all, the people who are dipping into emergency funds, it went from like 2.3 to 2.5. So it's a really small signal, but it's a signal nonetheless. But then they talk about like, oh, like values in these funds, 401ks dropped in the first quarter. It's like, yeah, but the whole market dropped in the first quarter and then it came roaring back. So what does it look like now? So I don't know how much stock to put into that and how much to read into it, but it's certainly going kind of the wrong way. I mean, that's what you really don't want to see, right? You don't want to see people dipping into their stocks, especially their 401ks, if you want to keep the market up, because it's already, super over leveraged. I posted that. I don't know if we ever put it in last week, but I posted that chart from FINRA where we've hit 3x leverage. And that's the thing about leverage is, if you're not levered, if you're just 1-to-1, you can hold everything forever, right? It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. But the more levered you are, the more you need price to have momentum in the direction that you chose, right? And obviously everybody's levered up. And so it has to continue to go up. And the second that it stops going up, you start putting pressure on that leverage to unwind. And then if you put enough pressure on it, you can unwind real quick and you can go the other way. So this is definitely a precarious situation where the ups that we're seeing is on the back of leverage. And this leverage is actually historically the highest that I've ever seen in many different measures. Some going back to like the 50s. And yeah, what happens if the leverage starts to unwind? You don't want to see people selling, like stress selling things, because the people that are levered need it to keep going. Oh, another
Yeah.
interesting thing, somebody that I follow on X who's like really into housing analysis and like housing data noticed a subtle change in Redfin's database. They just like went back and retroactively lowered the sales price, like the median sales price,
Hmm.
by like 15% over the last 4 years. And
Nice.
there was no note, there was no explanation. She just noticed it because she's like always looking at this data and has older versions of it. And one day just noticed like, oh, these numbers seem different.
Has she reached out to Redfin for comment?
She has. I don't know if
Have
she's
they
gotten one
commented?
back yet. Not that I know of, but I'm a few days, admittedly, a few days behind on getting an update on that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, is this the time where I put my gas buddy chart up because we're talking about people suffering from high prices?
Yeah, show us how much lower it is now that gas is.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a string of pictures. Okay.
Ooh,
So,
a whole string.
yep. El Nino is upon us. And I got a few pictures that help illustrate what's going to be kind of happening.
Jesus. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
So
Gas is going down, baby.
yeah,
We
gas is going
won.
down
We
a
did
bit.
it.
Went from the high of 456 down to what is that? Like 424?
425 ish.
Yeah, 425 ish. Yeah, right around there. So, I mean, we're getting the relief at the pump, guys. Don't worry, it's all good. It's still a $4.25 national average. Just chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
Shut
it's
the
still
fuck
only
up.
up. It's only 100% more than you were paying in February. I don't know what the big deal is.
Well, like 35% for most people, but between 35 and 100% for everybody. But shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. Don't think about it, okay? Just shut your goddamn eyes and pump your fucking tank, okay? But
Hey,
yeah,
do we want to talk about the seasonal adjustment of airfares and core PCE?
We
oh,
can,
do
but
we?
I wanna hear him talk. What's all this El Nino stuff he posted?
Well, this El Nino is shaking up to be what they're calling a super El Nino. And super El Nino
Can't
just
believe you
means
just did
that.
that.
Yeah, I
Su-
can't tell if that's racist, but it feels slightly
no, that was
racist.
actually it was a reference to Austin Powers. They do that several times in all the Austin Powers movies where they
Yes,
explain one thing and they do that. uh yeah, and then yeah, Ron busting out the Chris Farley going, I'm El Nino. Anyways, El Nino is just hot ocean weather in the Pacific. It's not just that, but it is that. We get a lot of really hot Pacific water, like surface temperature. And then what ends up happening is you get these crazy sort of active hurricane seasons in the middle Pacific. And then you end up with usually a more muted, hurricane season in the Atlantic. I don't know if it's necessarily something that's super reliable. But what you end up with is a really wet season for the southern states and then a relatively dry season for more northern states and regions. So in terms of the bread baskets of America, right? You look at this winter pattern that we have here. You'll notice that central Southern California gets some love, which is great if you love your avocados and almonds, right? But then you look at states like Oklahoma, Ohio, some of those places that have some more agriculture, and they're
Dust
not super
Bowl.
affected. So, I
Illinois,
mean, a
corn.
little bit actually, especially on the eastern regions. So there's the price effects will probably be relatively localized depending on how severe this El Nino really ends up being and how crazy the weather patterns end up being at the end of
It
the
has
day.
some it has some major effects in the South Pacific and like Oceania and Southeast Asia too, right?
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's
There's
not it's
you it actually leads to drier climates down there, so
yeah,
they're going to end
they
up
don't have
with
as strong
harder
a
crops.
monsoon season.
Yeah,
It's like the
so
monsoon switch from Southeast Asia to California, basically.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like
But that
Mexico, this
fucks
is
up
like
all the weather east of that.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Dork, connect the dot here. You've talked about El Nino for like 8 minutes now. What does that have to do with Americans'
Really?
wallets? Food
It's
up?
been like 2. Just he's being
Been 18
no,
minutes.
food.
hyperbolic.
Okay, so
Been 2 hours.
calm the fuck down. So,
Just make your point, Dork.
God damn it! I rest my case. No, so I think American wallets for a lot of the food we eat is going to be okay. Seasonal food probably going to be relatively cheap. Off-season food that you get from like the southern hemisphere or stuff that's imported from Asia. That stuff's probably going to get a little more expensive. So that's really going to be the impact. So the results are going to be kind of mixed. But generally, it depends on your purchasing habits. For the average person, prices may go up a tiny bit. But once again, it all depends on how severe.
How
If this
does
is a
that
super,
affect us when there's falling in the middle of a 20% global fertilizer shortfall?
well, I don't know. We'll have to wait 8 months and find out. But I mean, if this is
Fun.
if we could call this El Nino
I'm gonna
Super,
go long ethanol.
if this is El Nino Super, then it could lead to some pretty drastic price hikes for a lot of your soy products, things like that.
So what if we solve the war in Iran, but the ethanol additives get so expensive that the gas prices just stay high?
Well, that's kind of some tough titties.
I mean, here's the thing about this is something that I feel nobody's really talking about, but at some point, we're draining all these reserves, both public and private, and at some point we're going to have to refill them. And so you are cutting the peak down by preventing a huge spike, but you are prolonging the elevated, right? You're taking that peak and you're smoothing it out over time. And so, yes, even if everything opens up, everybody still has to refill all the stuff that they emptied. It's not going to just magically come straight down.
Wait, hold on. It's like you've never seen an FOMC press release statement.
Right? I was about to say, now draw
if you
parallels.
smooth it, it looks better. It doesn't have to be accurate.
No, yeah.
Everything should be smoothed all the time because then we can just deny reality.
Well, it's a
Well, I
logarithmic
mean, we've had
tail.
above target inflation for half a decade now. I think we've
It doesn't matter. At the end of the dot plot,
reality.
it's still 2%.
Wait, what
It
we
doesn't matter
need to
that
go back.
keeps moving forward in time.
Can we
What
go back
if-
to 2021 Fed meetings and see what their inflation predictions were for 2026 and just see how fucking wrong they were? I think that'd be pretty funny.
What if sustained inflation is just a bunch of different idiosyncratic inflation spikes in various areas?
The thing is, the target level was secretly raised to 3%, and no one wants to talk about it. Okay. That's why we're holding steady at 3% inflation right now.
Well,
All right.
no, we're above,
Except we're not.
We're above target. We're still
Yeah,
above
you're right.
target.
And we're holding steady here, guys. All right. We ain't raising
It's
rates.
transitory. I love
It's
that
okay.
they've
Marsh is going to shift it to 4 and then we're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that
we're
they
doing great.
burned the word transitory so badly that they intentionally try not to use that word.
Even
like
though
they're
the
just
Strait
gonna
of Hormuz is the most
eventually-
transitory fucking shit. Like,
They're going to run out of adjectives and words to use to describe things.
they can't even say temporary anymore. That one's gone, guys. We need another. Get the thesaurus out. Let's go. Yeah, no, it's pretty fucking dumb, but yeah. the whole
So
world is.
super El Nino and the seasonal agriculture is going to be slightly disrupted. Speaking of seasonality, Girk, would you like to talk about the seasonality of jet fuel?
What about?
I want to give you the
about core
opportunity to do
PCE?
so. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say, so this was like really interesting and kind of why PCE came in lower than the consensus estimate was that there's kind of a weird quirk with the airfare inflation, like the seasonal airfare adjustment versus the underlying airline jet fuel costs that would increase those airfares. And so because we adjusted the airfare price down due to seasonality, It helped PCE look muted in the April print, but the reality is, if you look at, so it wasn't even that muted actually. Even with that, April, like core PCE, we were talking last week about that third decimal. It was 0.24%, so right on the cusp of getting rounded up. So like a hard 2% print versus a
hard
weak,
2, yeah.
hard 2 versus a weak 3.
It's like X-rays, hard and
yeah.
soft, yeah.
And so like, so because of that, like if you look at the market, the market-based PCE, which is a little less influenced by seasonal revisions, it was just 3. It was just 0.3% month over month. And that's why we see year over year still climbed despite the month over month being down. Year over year went from 3.2 to 3.3. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, like healthcare services fell off a little bit. But and then hotel and lodging prices dropped, so less overall travel helped ease that a little. But I thought that was kind of interesting, is that, like, you know, jet fuel prices were up, but due to the seasonal adjustment, we got the lower print. Otherwise, it would have been around like 0.26, which would have been marked as 3.
So, I mean, speaking of the muted travel, obviously some of that likely has to do with the fact that oil went up, right? Each year going to crush demand. But I can't help but think, with the savings rate dipping so low so quickly, and then now seeing oil kind of going back down the other way, I mean, could we already be seeing the like immediate and
Wait,
dramatic?
just so you know, oil's back up again overnight. It's almost back at 90 a barrel. So it opened up like 3%.
But like with gas down at the pump, like the gas buddy chart that Dork showed, you know, gas is down.
Consolidated.
Could that be? I mean, it seems pretty sudden and drastic for, you know, just like demand destruction.
I don't think we have any like demand destruction yet. That's why the SPR is getting drawn down so hard. Oh, and did you see? Oh shit, there was another crazy fucking chart. Japan's. So Japan is like fucked right now. Their oil inventories are collapsing. Their oil inventories went from like 360 million barrels down to like 280.
Holy shit.
And there's like no projected shipments coming into Japan for oil, like, at all. So it's likely their oil reserves just continue to crash. And this is a huge deal because they are like one of the world's largest oil importers. Like, they don't produce any of their own oil, really.
I don't think
so
they
that's
have
kind
any
of
oil.
a big deal.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what that'll do to the Forex situation. It'll make it go even worse.
But it's just like, you know, with the Iran deal, it's the car driving towards the pylon that just never quite makes it there. The truck about to hit the just keeps going and going and going and never quite makes it. Nothing ever happens. But what if something happens?
Nothing ever happens, Jay Fresh. Shut the fuck up. All right. It's a nothing burger with extra happening sauce, okay?
Can I just say, whoever came up with nothing burger, I know that was like a COVID phrase. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Nothing burger's been around way before COVID.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely it has been. Yeah, it's been around for decades, bro. You kidding me?
No.
Yes, dude.
Ron,
yes. I remember saying that when I was a teenager.
You need something.
Yeah,
Ron, you need
that's
something
been around
to do.
since I was in like middle school.
No. Ron, you need something to do. Go look up the etymology of nothing burger. Don't use ChatGPT.
Use Gemini.
Yeah.
The superior model.
Gammastrike.
It was
Or
coined in the
Volstars, brought to you by Kushner.
1950s by a gossip columnist, Luella Parsons. She used it in her widely syndicated columns to describe unremarkable actors or ideas, famously writing in 1953 that an actor might very well be a nothing burger.
Gross. Well, I hate it.
Get fucked. Well,
I hate it too. It's a terrible phrase.
It doesn't make any sense.
And just proves once again Dork is a boomer.
I'm a boomer
really
trapped in a
is.
millennial's body.
That's what all millennials are.
He's a
I mean, it's
he's
'cause
a
I hung out
boomer.
I hung out my
You-
grandparents
Dork,
a ton.
You're a boomer in every respect except for your mortgage rate.
I love talking. Well, no, even in that regard, I guess in that regard, I'm more Gen X, but
Yeah.
got the same mortgage rate my parents had. Not quite that bad. They had like a 9% mortgage rate on their home back in 1999.
Yeah, they also had like 7% return on their checking accounts.
Well, yeah, and I also asked them what percent of their income it was, and they were like, I don't know, 30% maybe.
Should we go long the Peruvian and Ecuadorian anchovy spawn?
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing
I was just thinking about your El Nino thing. And I
we're
was thinking
doing
warmer
crustacean farms in the basement again.
Well, I was just thinking warmer Eastern
pool.
Pacific water is going to like weaken the anchovy upwelling in the Peruvian Ecuadorian coasts.
I bet it's priced in already. If it's
and
not
that could,
priced in
like-
yet, it's going to be priced in tomorrow.
That's like fish meal, right? And so that's
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
support the like protein and feed complexes.
Well, that's also
I have a
used as an
saltwater
extract
pool. Let's do it.
that's also in
We're just going to
direct-to-root
spawn
fertilizers.
anchovy in your pool?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm down. Wait, doesn't that saltwater pool just convert salt to chlorine and kill all
Yeah,
the
it does.
fish? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they can survive long enough to be harvested for one futures order of anchovies, we're good. That's all we need. One order.
We don't even need to actually deliver them. We just need the ISDA.
Exactly, yeah. Put one
Always comes
anchovy
back
in
to
your
that
pool.
ISDA.
Uh,
All right, do we want to move on to earnings? I think we've discussed most of the salient issues of the week. Have we
is
missed
there any
anything big?
earnings?
I didn't
don't
post.
think
I didn't
so.
post my. I didn't post my Japanese oil reserve drawdown for Ron.
Holy
Oof,
fucking
that's-
shit!
yeah.
It really puts it in perspective.
There's no zero on that
Good
chart.
Lord.
Just FYI.
That is crazy.
It's
Yeah, okay.
the no zero on the y-axis chart crime, but still, I mean, it's still 30% or whatever. It's a big drop.
Yeah.
Speaking of other, okay, I did think of another chart. I don't have it with me, but we talked about this a little bit last week, and it's probably worth continuing to talk about because more people are talking about it. I think it's the 3-month correlation hit an all-time low on the
Yes.
indices.
Yeah, it did.
And
one
people
month
are
is way down there by like Volmageddon though. And like, well, actually I think it's below Volmageddon. It's down by like
Yeah.
where we were prior to the
I've seen
prior to
vol
the-
experts talk about it on X, the Everything app, and they're pondering and trying to remind themselves: is it possible for this number to go negative? I'll have to dig up the math to see.
Well, apparently, I put a chart
is
for you,
possible.
JFresh. I saved you the time, and I see some wicks that go below zero on it. So, I mean, I guess it's possible, but I think there's one wick in November
I think
2025.
I think those are just
I think they are too. I'm
data
not- yeah.
artifacts.
I'm not.
But yeah,
I'm not,
it is
yeah.
possible. It is possible for it to go negative. I think the max theoretical could go as negative 100%, but obviously for that to happen, it would be insane. That would require the index vol to be like
I would buy
nothing.
so many puts if correlation was under zero.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you'd
I
buy
think
so many
everybody would.
puts. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, that's kind of what people were doing, I think, at the end of last year and into this year, beginning of this year, was they were saying like, oh, correlation's pretty low. Start hedging the downside. Then the downside never happened, but we got some downside, and then
You're talking
everybody
about like back in
unloaded.
like Jan Feb, or like you're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
like
Well,
back
like
in like
December.
July of 2020.
No. Like December of 25 and 26. Everybody was buying puts, and the market was just kind of, it was like trying to push a balloon underwater.
Mm.
Can I put on my tinfoil hat really quick?
Sure.
So we know that the SpaceX IPO is in July.
God.
We know that
Yeah.
2 weeks after that, they're getting included in the NASDAQ.
Mhm.
Well, 2 and some change. And then shortly thereafter, they're going to be put in the S&P 500.
Are they? Wait, hold on. They don't have 4
Mhm.
quarters of positive earnings.
No, they're waiving the
I don't think
rules
that
to
matters.
stuff this shit in.
Oh,
It does not
awesome.
matter. Nothing
Yeah,
matters
everyone's
anymore, Gert.
disgusted. Actually, I think it's the pension fund of Finland or something has
Yeah.
officially blacklisted SpaceX as a stock. So I don't know I don't know if that means they're going to sell off all their index ETF holdings or what, but
I don't
That'd be
know.
cool.
Probably
That's a
switch to like
huge fund.
what's the equal weighted index fund? They'll probably just switch to that.
RSP.
RSP?
Yeah, they'll switch to RSP. Call it a day.
That has even more SpaceX in it than the weighted one.
What? No, it does. How? It's equal weighted.
Right.
Because
Oh, I guess if it
if it IPOs at 2 trillion or whatever, one point,
yeah, I
whatever
guess if
fucking
it
number.
actually IPOs at 2 trillion, yeah.
Yeah, it's be fucking crazy.
I don't know. There's other people that have come out and said like there's no way it's even worth $1 trillion, and I don't know how they're even going to get fully subscribed on this IPO. It'll be interesting.
I want to point out
They don't
something that
care.
I noticed since JFresh has been saying market crash in September a lot lately. And then last week that was revised to market crash between tomorrow and September. And now we're one more week past that. I wanted to say that I was looking at XRT today, and I noticed that XRT did a little squeezy, and there was a whole bunch of short covering on XRT, which is a rare event for
Yeah.
the 1,000% short interest on XRT.
XRT is where everybody goes to short. It's like the fun thing to do.
And so I was like, ooh, that's curious. Let me look at all the other sector ETFs. And I want to say that like all of the delta, including on QQQ, just disappears after 618.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean this correlation nonsense, and these days at least, I'm not much of a tinfoil hat wearing wackadoo, but this low correlation kind of stinks to high heaven to me, that maybe some people are trying to say, hey guys, it's not that puts are free, it's that puts are pointless. You shouldn't buy these. It's kind of like you shouldn't do the DD on SpaceX. Shut the fuck up. I mean, just buy the shit, shut the fuck up, enjoy it being in your retirement account. Suck my dick. I'm selling it on your ass, right? And
why did you just assume the gender of the people who were selling the stock to me?
At which point did I do that?
You said suck my dick.
Any gender can suck a dick.
That's true.
And even non-binary, any gender. A gender.
You're the person who's commanding that somebody.
Never. Wait, was that a gender like 2 separate words or 1 word?
Wait, are you assuming my sexual orientation right now, JFresh? Wow, I can't believe this.
That's the first time you've ever shut JFresh up.
I yield my time.
Hold on. This is an important moment. I think Dork should relish in this.
I'm soaking it in.
Because he is going to come after your bips so hard now that you've publicly done this.
I know, he's going to climb up my ass about the vol tool. I got to get that.
What's HR going to do? It's an actual baby. I guess
HR is actually HR is turning into a toddler. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to scare you.
He did get his first tokens.
Yeah.
For Claude. So, I mean, watch out.
Yeah. He's getting ready.
Ooh, that could be like the next step for the Trump fund, the Trump baby fund.
Ooh.
Instead of giving them stocks, instead of
tokens?
Dell, whatever, I don't forget his name, but Mr. Dell. giving everybody stonks. We could give them Claude tokens.
Genius.
Ooh. Perfect.
But yeah, I love this tinfoil.
Who's gonna?
But
Wait,
anyways,
is the U.S. taxpayer buying the tokens?
well, yes, of
Because
course.
you know we're gonna have
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
before this is all over.
Yes,
And so then
100%.
that will be how we combat the fact that schools are very segregated by class, where people with a lot of money all move to good school districts, right? But if even the poor kids have Claude tokens that they can then spend at the school, it's a great equalizer.
Yeah, because
Think
like,
about
what
it.
if you want to take a week off school and then you just use your chatbot to answer all your questions that week?
Well, that's where
Like
agency is
PTO.
going these days.
You know,
We're not meant to
I
think for
mean,
ourselves.
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think the billionaires have it right. Compute was far too democratic, and it leveled the playing field too much. And they need to sequester it and charge out the ass for it, so that the only people with any access to compute are successful and wealthy.
I have to ask you though, by this whole thing where you're leveling the playing field, are you saying that they're making the general populace as dumb as they are?
Yes.
Good. I just want to make sure that was clear
Yeah,
that that's
people
what was
with
happening.
like everybody having access to information was ultimately, like, long run, bad for them.
So they
So they're
released the
trying to
chatbots.
hedge. Yeah, so they're trying to hedge that
Okay.
off by ensuring that everybody has access to bullshit.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
And
I've been
thinking.
hearing about nonstop Jevons paradox, which, by the way, Jevon, terrible name. I hate you for
Being
making
hate
me
his
hear the
parents.
phrase
His parents.
Jevons paradox.
What if he
over
chose
and
to
over
be named
again.
Jevon? What if they,
Yeah, everyone's
what if it was
saying that
like,
on Reddit too, and I'm like, dude, that's been a thing since fucking
Jevons
ever.
paradox is it's so ridiculous to me, because Jevons paradox is, as things get cheaper, people use even more of it.
I thought
And
Jevons paradox was, as soon as a metric becomes a target, it ceases to be a good metric.
no, that's another paradox.
Okay.
Jevons paradox is, it's supply, because traditional supply, it's a paradox, I guess, because supply and demand says that as demand goes down, the thing will get cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Jevons paradox is, as something gets cheaper, it becomes more accessible, and so demand can go up faster than the price comes down.
Well, that's just the supply going up, so the price goes down because the supply demand curve shifts.
No, the demand goes up specifically faster than the supply goes down, because it starts to enable economic things that weren't possible before.
Like
But
emailing your
cost of
vice president.
The cost of compute is going up, not down. So how is this Jevons paradox?
Not only that, but
I think Kirk is right. Like, compute is becoming a rare commodity that only those with access and money can get a hold of.
We just don't know it yet.
I mean, have you seen the price of shit?
I mean,
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the unnamed? I can't wait till we figure out what company this is. It was like a Fortune 20, an unnamed company. They forgot to put cost limits on their AI spend. They spent $500 million in 1 month on Claude.
It's probably because
I saw
they
that,
also had a
yeah.
Claude leaderboard too for token usage. So they were like,
I don't think it was the same company.
That's
because
Claude's
Amazon
business
and
model.
Meta had token maxing boards, and then they turned them off. Everyone that I've talked to that I know at those companies you've been using them even more since then.
Do they just run them like constantly with like things like just stupid shit?
They use them for everything, and they always use the max model, because why wouldn't you?
Well, it's like, so like literally everything. It's like, what do I want to have for dinner today? It's like recipes for that include fennel, and it just fucking, they're just using it for shit.
No,
like
but
that,
it's like
for
even
every
things
thought.
that they know that, like, okay, I could get it done, and it's probably not going to save you that much time. It's like it's literally like offloading. It's like using a calculator, right? You
I
could
wanna make a
probably
print statement.
add
Make a print
27
statement.
plus 49 and
Yeah.
do that, 100 times, but you'd get tired and it's annoying, and you could just have a calculator do it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, literally every step you just do it in the chat bot because your
'Cause why
boss
not?
says you should. Yeah. Because they're giving you free tokens and you never know. You never know. It may a blind pig digs up a truffle every now and again. So I'm sure they do it and it's like, "Oh, that was actually kind of cool." And so they pull it
I'll
out. But
give
like,
you an example of how I've used it in the past. Sometimes when I'm writing thermodynamics cycle problems and I'm looking at a specific state in a cycle and I'm like, here's the things I know. I want to find the thing I don't know. Right? I could go through and look up the NIST properties for that substance and do the calculation, do the interpolation on the table, all of that. Or I could ask Gemini or one of the other chatbots who also have access to those tables and access to every problem for every thermodynamic cycle that you've likely ever written about. And you just ask it 5 times and make sure it gets about the same answer, make it show its work, confirm the work is correct. There you go. I've blown through $20 of compute to do something that would have taken me 3 minutes.
$20 and 3 I'm doing the hourly calculation right now. That's not very cheap, but if you're only doing it once an hour, it's not that bad.
It doesn't cost me anything because it's free, right? It's subsidized, so why not?
That's true. Yeah. It's part that we all keep forgetting conveniently.
Anyway, yeah, I'm looking at QQQ volatility and yikes.
Yeah.
What is QQQ trading at right now? Right about 750?
Mm.
No, 738. Yeah, I mean, Vol's elevated up to like 746 and above. So everybody's just like super max long. What's skew look like on volatility on QQQ right now? Go to gammastrike.com.
It's looking like it's slightly negative. It is extremely positively skewed though historically. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean the skew is
That is a strong trend.
very high, which tells you that okay, you have elevated volatility above us, and the skew is quite high from a historical perspective. Everybody's just long, deep out of the money calls, and markets don't like to just give everybody exactly what they want. We'll see.
I mean,
You know what's weird is like Vixen, like the NQ vol index from SIBO, which is like the VIX for NQ, basically.
Yeah.
Is at 22, which is really fucking high, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I mean, it's got to be all calls, right?
the
Well, let's
December
look at
25 low was like 17, and it's at 22
QQQ is number 1 on options macro for Delta as well.
Ooh, it surpassed SPY?
Wait, hold on. No, it didn't surpass SPY. Sorry, it's number 2, but
Whew.
it's off by not very much. It's off by maybe 10 billion. It's getting close.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. Maybe we should be looking more at NDX because NDX skew is much closer to an all-time high than QQQ skew. What is NDX's heat map? Doesn't look super great going forward. What about NDXP? A lot of calls opening below us. That's interesting.
Got to get that Delta.
Yeah, people trying to get that entering big positions deep in the money because it's a little better than
NDX is
SPY now,
currently
right?
over its gamma max by a lot.
NDX?
Yeah.
NDXP is not,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is the weekly.
Yeah, and these are contracts that are too expensive for Wall Street bets, so you
Yeah,
should
nobody
expect at
follows
least
it, yeah.
20% less liquidity.
There's
Yeah, and
significantly less liquidity.
Yeah.
it's a lot smaller than like SPX as well. So it's like $120 billion on the IndieX chain versus SPX, which is right
Five.
around
5 trillion.
6 trillion.
Yeah.
And what about
Well, because that's
and
because
then
beta is
comparing
not defined
IndieX.
by NDX, you know?
Yeah,
Beta
so
is
then
defined with SPX.
IndieXP actually dropped off a lot. So it shot up. So that like big gap on April 7th to April 8th. So like April 8th, we gapped up hard on IndieX. And then like right after that, Delta just shot up. And then now Delta's popping back down. Interesting. That's quite a big jump. Something to keep an eye on. It's
Yeah.
definitely been the delta weighted skew or the skew weighted delta on it's been trending down over time actually since that point.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, sounds like bullish on AI. So
Well, everybody's bullish on AI. Did you see Dell's earnings?
I did not have a chance to look at it. Was it good?
Yeah. They went up like 40% in after hours.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Their earnings were crazy. Yeah, they're off the charts. I mean, pretty much anyone in hardware. That's what I was saying, like with Jevons
I said
Paradox.
Dell
the
last
hardware's
week. I was like, buy Dell. And then I did the thing again. I bought one fucking call.
Nice.
I was so pissed. They were so cheap. They weren't even expensive. But yeah, everything upstream continues to just... Micron's almost the Mag 9 or 8.
Yeah.
SanDisk,
Yeah.
Western Digital, Seagate. Our call for like going long the upstream components of data centers was maybe the best trade ever.
I mean, it's also super obvious. I think everybody made that call, which is why everybody's now in it.
Micron went up like 255% year to date.
Yeah. Well, Micron's delta is now higher than Nvidia on the options chain. It's now the biggest single stock option on the market.
Because everyone's just sitting on their in the money calls, just like, fuck it. What do you want me to do with this? I'm just gonna hang on to it till
Let it ride, baby.
Till I exercise, you know?
Yep, let it ride.
And then when they exercise, the market can crash.
Yeah, and in July when SpaceX IPOs. Sorry, July plus 2 weeks.
Has anybody thought that Elon's just trying to crash the market?
Why
no,
would he
I
do
think
that?
Elon's trying to dump his bags before OpenAI. So I don't think he's trying to crash the market. I think he's trying to screw Sam Altman. I think he's doing all of this to be petty.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm kind of there for it. I love it. I love
I do
petty
too.
shit like that.
I'm not gonna lie.
I think it probably has crossed his mind that he could cause chaos in the market, but I just don't think he gives a shit. I mean, you don't become the world's first trillionaire giving a shit about other people.
That's true.
But I
mean,
do
even
think
if-
he's doing this to fuck over Sam Altman because he hates his guts.
Even if the SPX drops like 50% tomorrow, like the 10-year returns are still pretty solid.
That's a dip buy right there, baby.
I think Elon
And
Musk.
I feel
is
like
just
everyone will
threatened
be
'cause he sees
okay,
a
right?
younger
Because
version of
like it's
himself
not like
and-
people have been buying the top.
Well, they're just buying the everything. Normal people are just buying the everything. So VWAP is everything. Once again.
Most normal people don't really own stocks.
I wonder when the last time SPX was actually below its VWAP. Yeah, that's why recessions are so good for poor people.
Yeah. I mean, the people who do own them are just incessantly bullish and There, it's kind of like how do you know if somebody's a vegan or long tech stocks? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah, so the last time SPX tested VWAP and we bounced off of it was April 2025.
Okay. That tracks.
Yeah, 20% drop.
That tracks.
From our current price to VWAP, we need to drop 27%.
Okay. And if we just keep dropping after that, then it's official.
One standard deviation below that would be hold on, I got this.
Do the math, Gert. Crunch the numbers.
37.6%.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wait,
That's
no, I'm
crazy.
sorry. I'm wrong. It's 40.83%.
That's one standard deviation. That's
below
insane.
VWAP.
That's fucking crazy.
So I'm looking at Micron by expiry. And it looks like there's almost about a quarter of the total delta on the chain is for this
618?
month, June 18th. Yeah.
Everything
a quarter of
falls,
all the
all
options
the
is on
delta
June
in the
OPEX.
market.
Yeah.
All the delta in the market disappears. It's like fucking several $1 trillion worth of delta.
Yeah, I was looking at
JFresh.
options.
Oh my god, we have
and-
the data.
Yeah, I was looking at options.
Figure out
macro.
how much delta is going to fall off on the entire market on June 18th.
I mean, it's basically the 30-day bar on the options macro. It's $2.5 trillion.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Here, let me do this really quick. I'll put a chart up there. There we go. So we can
That's
all
a
look
big
at
fucking drawdown.
it. Yeah, it's pretty serious. But who's to say they won't just roll it, bro?
It's worth pointing out though. I will say, I know this isn't in the actual show notes for things to talk about, but I do love us just sitting around and just letting our minds flow where the data takes us. We don't do this enough. We used to do this more. Maybe if you guys, if our listener who's listening to this enjoys us ramble on about just the random things we're seeing in the market, let us know, because we like doing it. But if you don't like it, we'll try to keep it to a minimum. But at least for now, you're going to get it.
We like
I know,
it.
but I do want to say, I think this is really important because a lot of people like to talk about like the window of opportunity or like the unclenching of the market after a big options expiration. And it's worth pointing out that, everything settles out and it's either cash settled or it is, a lot of it has been hedged into the expiration. And so like the buying and selling has already been done that needs to be done once that expiration happens. The thing to look for after a big OPEX is, what do people do now that they've been freed of these obligations that they've been in? What do they do next? And that's the interesting thing to look at. So like one example would be, after May OPEX, we had actually a huge drop in OI contract value. It went from 1.4 trillion down to 1.27 trillion, which for an off quarter contract, that's pretty big. And like, this isn't Delta, this is OI. So this is like, that's what, well over 10% of all the open interest just opened up, right? And so then the question is what do people do after that fact? And they bought right back in. Kept going.
What if we just look at like every expiration? So looking at the delta, look at the number of contracts expiring in the money. Or
Max
like
Payne?
the OI value of contracts expiring in the money.
Bring a Max Payne back?
Different, but sort of.
I've always kind of hated Max Payne
I
because
do
it doesn't
too.
show you what you think it does.
No.
But anyway.
But like at the end of May, we had May OPEX, we had like most of the delta falling off of the chain was in the money. Right.
Mhm.
Which I think is like obviously gives the market a bullish bias because all of that delta is going to get exercised.
Yeah.
So
sure.
so I think maybe the bear signal is when there's not a lot of delta left in the money.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I've been looking at the out of the money volatility on the call side and just seeing, it's been very elevated. It's been definitely out of the money. The at the money call delta, the call IV isn't super elevated. It's just kind of normal. Um, so yeah, when I see like huge green bands way above us OTM on the call side, it makes me nervous because it's
But
got
isn't that
it's
all
got
Vega
vibes of
hedging?
2021.
All of that
No, I mean that usually doesn't show up ever.
really? Because those are like all like long dated.
Usually all the Vega stuff you see below us.
Oh well, I think yeah, but we're not usually above Vega neutral.
Yeah.
So I think
Fair.
what you're seeing is you're seeing all of the Vega on the chain is like the dealers are snapping up in order to cover their imbalance. It's all that positioning out like 8 to 10,000 on the SVX that's like dated for like December and shit. Which means if we do get a break in the current trend and a pullback, they're gonna dump those contracts.
Interesting. Well,
What's the distance from spot to VN right now on the monthly? Or actually, no, Dork, just tell me what the VEX is.
what on
You're gonna make him
SPX?
look that up.
On SPX. He's got it. He's
You're gonna
got
make
it
him.
in his little
You're gonna make him
tools.
do a database call.
That's exactly what I'm
live.
doing. Let's see. Boo, 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 boo. I'll have to dig that up. There it is.
I'm not even
All
gonna
right,
know what the
that's this
number means when
guy.
you tell it to me. I have no context. I haven't been keeping track
I know
of
it's
it.
not even scaled or anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Are you
9,
counting
13 billion.
That's
Negative
the
13.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Negative
what that
13
means.
billion. You adjust it as negative 60 billion,
Interesting.
which is down actually from April. And
All right, I'm gonna pull us
March,
back a
so.
little bit because get you guys out of the database live. I don't want you giving away any weird secrets. Let's get back to there are some interesting earnings this week, even though we've kind of hit the end of the road on the earnings for this quarter. But I mean, so you've got folks like Palo Alto, Broadcom, CrowdStrike. Broadcom could be an interesting one because don't they do some do they do switches? What is I always forget what Broadcom does.
You
They're
think of
massive. They're
Qualcomm?
like, no, Broadcom.
Yeah, Broadcom's huge.
Qualcomm does
They
like
make all the
random
chips.
chips and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like specialty chips, but Broadcom.
It's AVGO. They're like
Yeah, Avgo, yeah, but
Yeah. they're like part of the Mag 10.
okay, yeah, so they do optical switches and things like that for like data
Semiconductor
center, like
supplies.
yeah, so they're optical switches. That could be, interesting if that's high as well. Because I mean, obviously, right now everybody on the hardware and infrastructure side of the data centers are going gangbusters. So Avgo could be an interesting one because of that product line. They also sell a bunch of other stuff though as well.
They're also up 8% in the last 2 days.
Yeah, probably in anticipation. I'm sure.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah, 51%,
interesting?
53% return since the March low.
Yeah, Palo Alto is more. They're cybersecurity, aren't they?
Mhm. Jesus, I can't believe Broadcom's $2.12 trillion market cap right now.
And nobody knows what it does. It's like Palantir, but it's like Boomer Palantir. Although I think a lot of boomers are in Palantir now.
No, it's like what's that? What was that company where the guy was like, "I can't hear you. I don't understand you." What was that?
That was Upstart.
Yeah, Upstart. What does Upstart do? What was that? You're breaking up on the crystal clear connection.
We got Hewlett Packard on Monday after the close. That could be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
For
We
the
got
same
Five
reason
Below.
that Dell is. Dude, have you been in a Five Below? I was
I
just there
have.
like a week ago.
I've never been in one. What are they like? Well, I don't even know what they do. Do they sell just shit for $5?
Yeah,
And
it's like
below.
Dollar General, but $5 and everything. It's $5 and below, and everything's over $5.
And below.
I walked in, and the first thing that I saw was $5.39, and I was like,
You know, Broadcom is
these
up
fucking liars.
2,800% since the COVID crash.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not in a bubble, right?
No, I can understand, and I can also understand the fervent faith people have in these companies as well, because they have taken their money and multiplied it a lot so far.
Well, yeah, we've been bubbling since 2009. Everybody, it's nice and
Hot
cute
take.
to see everybody. It's not a hot take, it's just data. I mean, we've been expanding leverage and have now exceeded most all-time high metrics of leverage since it's been a straight march up since 2009.
Makes me want to do some DD and see how easy it would be to like lever into stocks and just start asking around and being like,
This
"Hey,
is fucking ridiculous. Broadcom's trading at an 83x price to earnings ratio
those are rookie numbers."
on $63.89 billion in revenue in 2025. They have a $2.12 trillion market cap.
Bro, you got to do
Those are
that
rookie
PEG
numbers.
ratio, baby.
Yeah, right.
P's for dipshits and grandmas. It's all about the PEG. Last 12 months, go fuck yourself. Next 12 months, baby.
Next 12, you mean next 120?
They're projected to make they're projected to make $230 billion a year in revenue by 2029.
Did they realize that the holding companies that hold all these chips are just sitting there holding these chips so that way they don't show up on any of these Mag 7 balance sheets? They've made a lot of shell companies to do that, and so these chips just don't exist.
Whoa. You can't say that part out loud.
I do think
Shit,
that
there's a van coming, guys.
this is the interesting part, and I was actually thinking about this a little bit this week. I'd love for somebody to do some more digging. Like, I kind of want to just do like a one of those like Substack Furu.
Have you thought about having our resident
gimmicks?
Dan do it?
Well, no, yeah, we could, but we'd have to fly him in. But I'm already in Texas, and like all of the data centers being built here. I need to just go
That's because you
around to
guys don't
these
have any
data
laws
centers.
that protect your citizens.
I know, I understand that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not happy about it, but we also just have like one of the shittiest electrical grids that's not connected to any of the other regional electrical
But
grids.
it's going to get so much
just a
better
recipe
when
for
all
disaster.
the data centers have their own nuclear power sources.
You mean gas turbines?
Yeah.
Diesel generators,
Yeah.
coal plants.
There's some radiation that comes off those, though, right?
Anyway, what I'd like to know is not how many chips are being warehoused, but how many chips are being thrown away and recycled.
How many chips are being eaten by rodents? Like, is the drug dealer dilemma at play here? Like, where you store
probably
so
too
much
hot.
cash that you have to like account for mice eating
Like mold and stuff.
X number of dollars of it.
I think they're too hot.
Maybe.
Well, because, okay, so what I was thinking about was, everybody's trying to do the math, and they're saying, okay, well, all of these Grace Blackwell chips, there's like, people bought 2 million more than there's anywhere to plug them in. So where'd they go? And I was just thinking, like, Well, I remember that Meta put out a report when they trained Llama 3 when they were using H100s. And in that report, they talked about the failure rate of the chips during the run. So some of the failures were not catastrophic. They were just catastrophic to the run itself, right? Because you can't have the chips fail while you're running or else you lose, your place in the calculation. And so you have to start over. But half of the failures were hardware failures. And they were hardware failures primarily that were catastrophic. So like the memory would get fried or something like that. And the
Sounds like a
rate of
NVIDIA card.
failure, it was, yeah, H100. The rate of failure ended up being equivalent to something like 9% a year. But this was only over the course of a few weeks. And so the failure rate's going to go up over time in the bell curve. And 9% a year, that puts us at about 30% of failed H100s by now. That's like 2 million chips. So
What's the warranty on those?
I don't know.
Because that just tells you where the buck's going to get passed to.
But so my question is, are there millions of dead chips and where did they go?
The holding companies, once again, those chips don't exist.
Why would they hold them?
It's
You'd
shell
think you'd
companies that hold
recycle
those
them.
chips. Well, no, the shell companies.
Well, there's
hold those-
cash in those chips. You recycle them for at least raw material.
Yeah, you refurbish them. That's part of the Lend-Lease program through NVIDIA.
But no, what I'm saying is that that XAI doesn't own the chips that are going in Optimus. Okay, the AI data center that's not getting built. They don't own those chips. A holding company owns those chips. So if they have to do all this stupid bullshit and a bunch of them fail and everything, that holding company gets fucked in the ass, not SpaceX now. So you're not going to see this show up anywhere on any of these major companies, no matter how much it happens.
If it was a holding company, then why is XAI so negative?
Because they're actually that badly run.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks. I can't wait to buy it.
I know. I'm excited for my retirement account to be like 30% fucking SpaceX.
Are we going
Hey,
long
man, it's like-
SpaceX and then short SpaceX?
Well, it's like me the other day looking at emerging markets and international market funds that I have access to in my 401k. I was like, maybe there's some opportunities there, and it's all fucking ASML and Samsung and TSMC. And I'm just like, you've got to be fucking. It's literally like 20% of all these ETFs. We're just like TSMC, ASML, SK Hynix, Samsung. And I was like,
motherfuckers, dude. It drives me up the fucking wall whenever I look at prospectus sheets and I see that shit, dude. It drives me insane. Like that I can't just go and like, you can, but trying to set up an actual portfolio without putting in hours and hours of effort and yelling at your fucking financial advisor is fucking pain in the dick.
I do everything I can to never talk to my financial advisor because if I didn't have all the restrictions, if I wasn't required to have one, this person wouldn't have a job.
Oh shit. Well,
Useless
earnings is fucking boring. I think that's pretty much.
I mean, Broadcom's a big deal. Palo Alto is interesting. There's been a lot of like bugs and security flaws found in code because of like the chatbots finding it. So that's interesting a little bit.
I don't know how relevant to Palo Alto that'll be, but sure.
DocuSign's coming up. That's exciting.
Are they going to announce more layoffs?
Never have I misunderstood something as much as DocuSign. It's like, so we can just sign stuff on the internet and it's all made up, but we have to do it through this one company.
There's a few, but yeah, it's the way that you could do a
Why
legally
can't
binding
I just
signature.
put a picture of my signature on a PDF?
Like you could do legal.
Because I do that half the time too.
You can do that.
And nobody seems to be bothered by that. So why not just do that?
Some
Seems
people
a lot
will
cheaper.
require it. It's a whole construct. I mean, you could always just have a note. If you need something notarized,
I don't think DocuSign necessarily counts as a notary, but
I have no
DocuSign
idea.
doesn't. I think they have a notary service of some sort because there's some like digital notary products. But the big thing about DocuSign was that they got through all of this like state legislation about contracts and like advocated for very specifically allowing the process by which they allow people to sign documents relative to interstate commerce on the internet, and they petitioned very, very hard to get those laws changed and overturned in a way that only their system, the system that they've patented and designed for signing documents, will work in accordance with the way those laws have been changed. And they actually have like a huge advantage over other firms like Adobe that have tried to follow the same path. So I've always liked DocuSign a little bit because of that. But people need to sign shit and they don't want to send it in the mail because that's slow, right? And so if the pace of doing business is congruent with the digital age, you can't be like mailing someone a thing to sign.
yeah.
All right. So let's get into the calendar. Let's make it quick. This episode's already going long because we meandered through our own data sets a little bit, which was
We already
fun,
hit the
but-
calendar a bit on the last week.
Yeah, let's hit the fresh week coming up. Anything that you guys are looking at that you
Ooh, ISM?
besides
ISM?
oh god, I was
It's
going to say
ISM week.
Kashkari's speaking.
I don't know. ISM.
What about
And
your
Ueda.
jolts? I know sometimes you really like jolts.
I just like jolts because analysts can never figure out what it's going to be. So the number they say is just made up. But yet we price things based on the made up number they say. It's like one of the most volatile, like bigger data sets. And they're almost always off by like several percentage points. And I just find it really amusing that the market will try to the market will price in the consensus estimate for jolts, and then jolts is just always going to miss that estimate. And so there's always like this little scramble to like fix things because everyone priced everything wrong every single time. So jolts is fun, but it's been a little less erratic than we'd seen it over the last like 3 to 4 years, where it was wildly erratic. But no, I'm just interested in prices. ISM services and ISM manufacturing, very big deal. And then obviously non-farm, right?
I was interested in non-farm.
If the Fed gets more unemployment or lower employment, they have validity to cut, even though we're seeing inflation increase. But if employment is improving, they need to hike. Now, a lot of companies have been laying people off. We know that and they're saying AI despite no provable gains in productivity from AI. But it's hard to sell the AI if you can't say you're cutting people because of the AI. So you have to fire some number of people every month in order to continue to support the story that your chatbot is now running your company. But those numbers are still pretty thin. I don't think they'd be enough to affect overall employment in a significant way. But yeah, if we see unemployment go up, probably more likely that we get cuts. If we see unemployment move down, and it's not all just in the healthcare sector, like every non-farm payroll for the last like 4 years. And there's any indication that employment is improving, then the Fed probably needs to hike. And I think all of the Fed speakers that have come out so far, especially Kashkari, he's definitely one of them, have been pretty hawkish. Like they do understand that the impact from oil is going on way too long, right? Like we had like 30 days, and we're at 90, more than 90. And the price of oil is still drastically higher than it was. That hasn't really changed in a meaningful enough way. So the majority of the Fed board, regardless of Warsh, is probably going to be fairly hawkish. And so I think any gains in employment that we might see reflected over the next week could seriously impact what the market is pricing in for Fed cuts, which is like in some cases like 3 by September, like 3 more cuts by September, which I feel like would be enough to literally blow the front end up. But maybe that's what they want.
Not if they're buying.
Maybe all of the big banks really, really, really need the front end to blow up so that, they can zero out the dollar and not pay money out of money markets for a few months.
Speaking of that, did you see, this just reminded me of another thing that was in the news this week. Jamie Dimon was being interviewed. I think it was CNBC. I can't remember what it was, but he was being interviewed specifically about stable coins. There is a law that's going through the ringer right now about potentially basically bringing stable coins more into the fold and doing things like allowing people who issue stable coins to pay interest on the coins. And Jamie Dimon was very hard against it for a variety of reasons, like know your customer and a bunch of other things, like issues with it. Also, a big reason is that there's no protections. There's no FDIC insurance or anything on those stable coins. And so he was very against it in its current form. And he basically said, this is just being pushed by, what's the guy's name from Coinbase? Ben or something? I can't remember his name.
Like this Coinbase CEO?
Coinbase CEO, yeah.
CZ?
No, Coinbase. That's Brian Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
This law is basically... Yeah, this law is basically being pushed through. He's been spending millions and millions of dollars just trying to push this thing through himself. And I guess all the banks really hate him right now. This is basically being pushed through by Brian Armstrong. And we're fighting it really heavily. And this lady came back and said something well, Brian Armstrong says this, and this about it. And Jamie Dimon just flat out, just angry, just said, Brian Armstrong is full of shit. On to you straight up.
I love it. I love it.
That was the angriest I've ever seen that man. It was just
he almost never loses his cool, so that's interesting.
He lost his cool. So yeah, go look up Jamie Dimon, Brian Armstrong, full of shit, and watch that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so there's one other thing that's being published this week, and I can nerd out a little bit because it's not on this calendar. And it's related to employment numbers, non-farm payrolls, et cetera, but it is not the recent ones. Longtime listener of the show will know that we've talked periodically about the different ways in which the government tabulates employment over time.
Lies about employment? What was that?
Yes. Tabulates. Tabulize.
Tabulize.
And the most accurate but most delayed one is the QCEW, the Quarterly Census Employment something wages, something like that. That is being published for the fourth quarter of 2025 on June 2nd. So we could get our first look at potentially negative month-over-month numbers.
Do you think that means we're officially in a recession?
Well, you need two. Well, you need 2 quarters of negative GDP. I mean, the recession as a term. I mean, it's pretty explicit what you need, right?
No, it's not. Because last time we had 2 quarters of negative GDP growth, they went, nope.
Yeah. They were like, this isn't really a recession. Don't look at the numbers that factually declare it as big. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weenie. I think what they described it as was a weenie micro penis.
They'll have to retire the word blip pretty soon. That's the next word.
Well, between
on the
that and transitory, we're running out of words. Yeah.
Blip, transitory, temporary.
The preliminary data, everything's preliminary for 2025 until they settle on all the numbers eventually. I don't know when, sometime later this year. But the September of 2025, the job growth preliminary was 0.1%, and that had been trailing down. This year over year, and that had been trailing down from 0.8% at the beginning of the year, which has been trailing down from 1.4% in 2024, which was trailing down from 3.2% in 2023, which was trailing down from 5.1% in 2022. You can see where this is going. Long trend straight down. And this could be the quarter 4 2025, that we see actual job destruction, which already is super bad, right? Because I looked at the numbers a while ago. I think we talked about this last week. There are more people retiring than there are new people coming into the employment market. So even if unemployment stays low, the total number of employed people can still be decelerating or even declining. For that reason, as we start shifting towards an aged society that relies more and more heavily on wealth transfers from the young to the old, yeah, not great for productivity in terms of GDP, right? So the only thing that's really saving us right now is inflation, because we can call inflation productivity, so things still look okay. But this could be the first crack in that narrative. So I'm really excited about Tuesday. That's what I'm excited about.
Fuck yeah.
What if productivity has actually just been negative the whole time?
Yeah. For the last 40 years, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like when
It
we
has.
stopped
Takes.
producing things 40 years ago.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Well, I'm glad you're looking at that. I can't wait for your Twitter post when you go and talk shit to all the economists about it and make your cool charts and then just start posting them everywhere, being like, how do you explain this? And then they just block you. That's my favorite part of the year.
Meh.
Yeah. Well, should we go to commercial break and chill out for a bit and I can get a refill of my whiskey?
That sounds good.
Play us out, Ron.
Whiskey.
Well, hey there. Producer Ron here. We've been doing this podcast here for a little while now and found out something alarming. The algorithm says that we're not seeing quite enough engagement for an audience of our size. So I'm going to make this real clear. If you haven't already, go find that like and subscribe button. And don't just smash it. Annihilate it with your awesomeness to show your support. Okay there. Now we can get back to the show. Thanks.
Kushner goes to Pakistan. He went there last week, now he's going again. Kushner goes to Pakistan. There is no discussion, there isn't a plan. Axios is running out of headlines to run. Is that another fireball or just glare from the sun? Preemptively defending our undeployed daughters and sons. And he keeps sending Jared for fun just because Trump sends him to the front lines like Uriah the Hittite, so he can spend more time with Ivanka in the night. Iran isn't budging and he's got Epstein files to hide. So Kushner goes to Pakistan. He's dying inside.
Oh my God, I can't wait until we just replace Ron with that song.
Seriously. Glad it was just not another commercial, honestly. I mean, we're such big shills these days. I'm glad we can kind of take a little break from being shills and just enjoy some music.
Are we big shills?
Could you wait?
We're just shilling the same shit to the same listener over and over again.
Yeah. Who loves it?
He does.
That listener can't get enough. Okay.
I can't wait till he tells us about that. They wish that we talked more about El Nino.
Right. Yeah. Well, is it my turn to grab the reins and ride us to victory?
Dork's little back end.
Well, trading with Gammastrike, how'd you guys do? I know I did pretty good.
I think I did pretty terrible.
Nice.
I didn't really fall. I just saw it went the wrong way on me, and I was like, nah.
Nice.
I still have a couple weeks, but I think I'm underwater. I have to double check.
And you've already doubled down, so you can't double down. You can't double down.
Yeah, I can't double down my double. Well, I mean, I could. I did get a little bit of a return on Friday, which mitigated some of my loss. But yes, I have until June 18th for Rocket Lab to drop below $110. It's currently at 142. So I feel like I'm gonna lose out on this.
You might.
I might.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay. How about you, Jay Fresh?
Yeah, so remember I did flatter down on qubits and it went up.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, I guess I win this week because my iron
Wait.
butterfly. Wait,
No. I didn't pick the qubits one. I was watching the wrong one all week. I did SMCI. Obviously, I didn't play this one, but
Yeah, you did
SMCI
down or down on
also-
SMCI.
SMCI went even more upper.
Right, you just got even more wrecked.
Yeah, I got absolutely destroyed on that one. Great job, me.
Well, my my iron butterfly on First Horizon. I guess it expires in June, but so far so good. It's, flat. So doing pretty good on that. I guess I could just recycle this until June and see if I get the full 60% of max profit to beat Girk for once in my fucking life.
It'll happen one day. I want to say my Rocket Lab trade was up 100% the day after.
Well,
Okay.
doesn't help
Did
us
you
much
close
now.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't close it because I'm not actually short Rocket Lab because these are made up.
They are made up. Yeah, I'm at 40% max risk, so I'm kind of tempted to let.
I do want to point out that my DocuSign call ratio backspread is now up 37%.
Well, okay. Well, then, what are we doing this week, guys? We gonna
I'm
shift
looking.
it up?
I'm looking. I'm thinking about God, I really just want to short all the space shit,
Mm-hmm.
Because well, I have issues.
Do we have? We should have SPCE in Gammastrike.
We do not.
What?
Nope.
Probably because their options
that
were
right
dog
now.
shit a year ago. Yeah. Fucking tell our DBA and he'll throw it in and then I'll get it in there.
What about Caterpillar?
What about Caterpillar?
I can't believe no one's bugged us about
Looks
SPCE.
They
I got
haven't.
asked on the weekend stream today about SPCE, and it looks like it got rejected off its prior high at a slightly lower high, and people are going to probably take a fuck ton of profits off of it next week.
Well, get that shit in the database, Dork.
It's not on me.
Well, tell our DB guy to put it in there. He'll get it in there by the end
DM
of the
Atomic
day.
right now. Tell him tell him to put it in right now, and you'll re-roll the pods for it.
Yeah, I will. Let's see. You throw
So that we have it
SPCE.
in Gammastrike before market open.
So we can backfill that biznatch before open, please. And thank you, sir. Okay, we'll see what happens with that. I already got my new position. It's kind of terrible, but I kind of like it. A little bit of doggy. A little bit. Oh, that's actually
Little
even
lettuce.
worse. Ooh, actually, that's actually pretty good. Never mind. Yeah. I'm gonna go here. Wait, what? No way. Sorry, I'm just
Who are you
trying to
talking
figure out the play for this stock that I found. It's looking pretty terrible.
While he's thinking about that, I've been thinking about, can we send Ron to Pakistan?
Ooh.
Do you want to go to Pakistan, Ron?
He can like camp out at the Four Seasons in Pakistan and accost Jared Kushner every week.
Yeah, I just want Ron to bring a camera and follow Jared Kushner around Pakistan. See what he
Playing
gets
that
up
song.
to.
Okay. Now we're talking here. Okay.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Okay, so I saw something. So, like I usually do with trading with Gammastrike, I went and looked at a spot that shows us tickers. This time around, I picked the Greeks filter, and I picked below gamma neutral, ascending, whatever, and I saw Hertz. You know, the car rental company, Hertz. Those guys, right? And I was like, hey.
Wait, doesn't Bill Ackman own a bunch of that?
Dude, does he? I don't know. It's Hertz. Who gives a shit? What I did notice though is that it's kind of fucked, right?
Yeah.
The thing is the only thing that really stood out to me was this. Okay, if there was ever a chart to get you interested in this car rental company at a time when we're talking about, you know, demand going down on travel and all this other stupid FUD, there's this chart right here.
God,
look at
is
this
this
chart.
Dork trying to pitch his fucking short squeeze thesis for Hertz?
Look at this chart. Look at this graph.
I mean,
Hertz
isn't
gamma minimum.
Hertz is not going down anymore. That's for sure.
No, it's not, but it's exactly a gamma minimum. So I was
the
thinking
only
to myself,
thing to do is go long, or are you going to sell puts?
So here's what I was thinking. Okay, so I got a little bit of walking around money in my little portfolio here.
What if Hertz goes out of business?
Then fuck me, am I right? Yeah, it'd be great. So yeah, pretty fucking terrible if that happens. That's not gonna be that bad. So I figured out a position. I don't know if it's necessarily going to open with this, but I'm probably just going to give this one a spin because it seems kind of like fun. Let me see. So, okay. So it's actually looking pretty good. So here's what I'm thinking is I am basically just going to full degen Vega. So if I promise to be long Hertz at $4, I can get quite a few maybes to be long Hertz at $6. So this is a sell a 4 call and buy. That's 23 6Cs at the end of the week. And
sorry, I don't even know what that sound was. But you just made it come out of my body.
So if this works out, if Hertz by, I think it was by Wednesday goes above $6, I'll make a decent amount of money on this.
Wait, what are you gonna do with those short calls you've sold at $4?
I'll probably get assigned. That's fine. I'll do it. I don't care. I'll own Hertz at $4 if it's at $6. I'll just fucking sell them. You know, I'll sell my shares.
Those aren't sold puts, Dork.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
Dork's about to wake up with his margin account short 100 shares of Hertz.
I've got the long 6 call.
Why don't you just buy the 6 calls
the
and not get
loss.
the fucking $100 credit?
Because then I'd have to pay more money.
Barely.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dork's gonna get fucking assigned short 100 shares of Hertz, and then overnight it's gonna go to $10.
Let's just do this really quick. How much am I gonna be paying? Dude, I'm paying like $200. That's fucking highway robbery.
You're paying, yeah. Do you know how much you'd be paying if that doesn't run until after expiry?
About $200. That's highway robbery. Okay, fine,
Okay.
fine. I'll just do 6. I'll do 23 6Cs on Hertz. Okay, should only cost me $180. We'll see how it pans out. There's the updated one. Just a shit ton of Hertz calls because they're cheaper than fuck. It's a gamma minimum. And if IV spikes in the next 3 days past Monday, I'll make a lot of money, but those contracts will probably be worthless the instant I buy them. So, should be fun. But because the market is doing what it does, and because in this day and age, there is no such thing as a bad investor, I think I'll do okay. So there you go.
Interesting.
Yep, and the risk is just what you put in, right? There's my risk tolerance, $180. If I probably will end up paying less than that. If I'm being honest, I might end up paying like 160.
Oh, there you go. You got rid of the short call. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah,
That's better.
You're right. I don't want to have $200 of margin hanging over my head.
We know you're poor, Dork.
Yeah, all my margin is tied up in long QQQ anyways. Ron is intrigued. Let's see if he does the DD for me and starts posting on Reddit about it. What do you guys got? Anything? Oh, wait, Girk's got to hang on to his play till the ship sinks, right?
I kind of want to go long BDX, but I don't know what they do.
Beautiful.
Who gives a shit?
I mean,
Hertz.
right?
I don't care what Hertz does. I know that they're at gamma minimum. That's all I know.
They
about
are
Hertz right
a
now.
medical specialties company, Becton Dickinson and Co. And
Sounds
I
bullish.
mean,
What did you just call me?
so this company has had a drop in total delta of this looks like $100 million in the last trading session. Or maybe I want to short it. Hold on. I can't decide if that looks bullish or not. I'm gonna pick something else. Jfresh, you go. You pick one.
All right, you ready for this shit? I am not gonna rock the boat in my analysis at all. I went straight to G-Scan, my personal creation, which is beloved by me. And I looked at bullish trend and I saw this big fat candle on SCO, and I thought, what is SCO? And I went and looked, and SCO, whatever this stock happened to be, went from basically $6 to $27 in one trading day. And it went so hard that it blew out all the negative. It just like basically just blew out the entire options chain completely. And now it's sitting at $27. Looked it up. It's an ultra short oil, levered oil ETF.
Ooh.
Which I know oil went down. It didn't go down that much. There's something funky's going on there.
So you want to go long?
No. I want to short the ultra short.
Oh.
I
like it. So you want to go long?
Yeah.
Long oil. No.
Yeah.
Levered long oil.
Yeah. But I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to try my tried and true play I've tried a few times now, which is sell the call spread, buy the put. And I posted it. It's June 18th expiry. Give myself a little time. Did I do this back? Oh, no, I did it right. So sell the 25 in the money, buy the 30 just to cap it. Take that credit, buy the 23p. So I get after all that, get a net credit of 140. Max loss of 360, max profit of 2,000. It's if it goes to zero, which it won't, but good upside. Seems just insane enough to have fun with.
Yeah.
But I kind of just did that just because I wanted eyes on this SCO. This seems super interesting. Something fucky is going on here. I mean, it's small. It's like, the delta on it was like $80 million before this happened, but there is a dislocation occurring on that instrument currently, and I would like to follow it.
Okay.
Ooh. I think I got a cool one. Do you guys remember Wolf?
Vaguely. I remember people playing it, but I don't
Wolf
remember
Speed?
what it was.
Wolf Speed's now at $60 a share.
What do they do?
They are like
Nobody cares.
innovator of wide bandgap semiconductors, focused on silicon carbide and gallium nitride materials and devices for power and radio frequency applications.
Yeah, okay. Gallium nitride is
Who gives a shit about radios?
Sure. It's also high power. So like you think about like electrified transportation and stuff, you need tons of power. And so like all the inverters and stuff, like solar inverters, electric car inverters, aerospace,
A little worried.
all
I think
those.
something. I
You
feel like
gotta
something is
run a lot
wrong
of
with
amps. But the first news article that popped up when I searched Wolf was a giant short squeeze could be brewing in Wolf Speed stock. So you got that going for you. What's wrong?
Well, yeah. So, interestingly, I think Wolf squeezed. It went from 12 million delta back in April 22nd, 2026, to a recent peak on May 26th of 1.78 billion delta. And
Okay.
as of May 28th, 29th, 3 days later, it was at 798 million delta. So about a billion delta fell off of the chain. And then, over the last... So I was using the exposure scanner, and I was looking back 5 days, and it's lost 51.11% of its delta over the last 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And yet is still trading like just below Gamma Max.
Yeah.
And so I think
looks
I'm
juicy
gonna
as fuck.
I think I'm gonna short the fucking shit out of this.
I mean, if you look at the last time it's squozened, it kind of went to the same place, like 2 billion, and then when it dropped, it just like a week later it like went flat and then just started going straight down.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna buy 2 of the June 18 $60 put.
And that's the beauty of our data, because we go all the way back to when it started trading options, which is end of 2021. Ooh, that's awkward. Every single time it's popped, it's just kind of floundered backwards. It doesn't tend to like pop and then pop again. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. So I'm gonna short that. I'm gonna short it with a price target of $45, and I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna do it for June. I think I'm gonna do it for June 18. You know what? I'm gonna do the $65 put. Give myself a little padding there at Gamma Max.
There you go.
Boop. That's got a whole lot of juice left in its butt.
Nice Yellen reference.
Thanks.
Being a financial podcast. All right, we good? Got it, Ron?
I think you got those, Ron. We all set? Fuck yeah. Well, then I guess
going
it's
on?
time for our next little bit. All right, we got our audience questions. Is that a thing? Is that still a thing? People asking questions. They are asking questions. We got questions. Okay, cool. So, guys, remember you can ask questions on any link we put on the things below. Everywhere you watch these or listen to these or whatever, we got a link down there. You can put comments in those videos. You can put comments anywhere you want. We post before we do this. Just comment everywhere and just ask your damn questions. Ron is going to find those questions. Okay, he will find you. All right.
Yeah.
And he will get those questions extracted from you like juice from a turnip. Okay. So ask your questions.
You could just like ask it out loud while you're sitting on the toilet. Ron will hear it.
Really
Yeah,
missed
yeah.
a caboose
Think it.
opportunity there again. I'm just pointing it out.
Just think your questions. Ron will hear your thoughts. It's all great. If you just take off the tinfoil hat before you do, he's working on with Peter Thiel's newest technology, so it still can't break through the tinfoil hats.
Direct from Argentina, right?
Exactly. So, all right. First question is from Reddit. Is space really the next frontier? Just watch Star Trek.
No.
First content.
No. Next question.
It's already it's just, whatever. Okay. Discord. When?
Can we
shit.
just go back? Can we just go back to A real quick? I don't know
Sure.
if I've done a rant on this in a while, but nobody's putting any serious compute in space. There's not enough heat dissipation. Yes, space is not cold. Space is empty.
Yeah, space is
nowhere
sparse.
to put the heat. So
Yeah.
all of this AI shit in space is stupid. I'm telling you, this is not made up. I'm telling you the God's honest truth, Scout's honor. I was an Eagle Scout. I can say that. It's not stolen valor. Talking with a DARPA program manager who has spent the last decade and his entire career in heat transfer has spent the last decade managing thermal moonshots at DARPA. Someone asked him the question, compute in space. Is DARPA interested in that? And his response was, that's even too crazy for DARPA. And that was his nice way of saying, that's pretty fucking stupid. This is DARPA.
Yeah, the people who make the crazy shit
The
that like
people who
warp
do the
drives and
moonshot.
shit.
I've talked to DARPA people who are just like, hey man, he's just really into like chiral crystal structures and wanting to use that to somehow make a thermal management material that can withstand, re-entry into the atmosphere, which makes no fucking sense. Like, these are the types of people that work at DARPA, and you ask them about data centers in space and they say that's retarded.
Yep. And I mean, anybody with any modicum of thermodynamics experience, like, it doesn't take much to know that like thermal dissipation from radiation by itself is just peanuts compared to what you can get from convection. Like,
Can
absolutely
we
at
not take
near room temperature.
H200s, land them on the dark side of the moon, and then drill a heat sink 200 meters into the core of the moon?
You know what else
Or
you could do?
we
Why
could
not
just use, or we could just hook it up to the local municipal water source here. And
So you're
Yeah,
saying
and just drop
spraying
everybody's
my
pressure.
H200s with a garden hose is more efficient than this stupid shit?
yes.
Okay,
correct?
thank you.
100% correct. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm just trying to dumb it down for the non-thermo or the thermodynamically challenged.
Well, our listener
Water is one of the greatest heat transfer materials in the universe. It's marvelous. The only problem is that it is conductive unless it's super deionized, which it's very hard to keep water deionized. So it's basically treated as conductive, and it's corrosive, which super sucks. But
That's one of those things. I was just talking with my fiance earlier today, and I was talking about how aliens probably saw our planet and went, "No one lives here. It's covered in water." So,
anyway,
yes.
yeah.
So to the question when, I think we've already answered that last week. What was it?
September or sooner.
Okay.
Any day
Next
now.
question. Yeah. Next question from Discord. Go into detail how tokenizing treasuries and MBS into crypto can help the economy. Besant's 333 plan.
It doesn't. It's
Oh,
stupid.
I love talking about how the Trump administration's trying to scam everybody with their stupid fucking crypto plan. Should I go into the whole thing? I don't know if I can trim it. I'm gonna go on.
Give us.
I mean, if you
give
could do
us
the Spark Notes.
What? Yeah, the 333. It's got. It's like it reminds me of the
growth,
999
deficit, and like lowering energy, like energy driven inflation.
Yeah, but this reminds me of the 999 plan, which was put forward by Herman Cain when he was running for president in the Republican primary a long time ago. He was a upper management C-suite guy at like Godfather's Pizza, and so his big thing was, I'm going to do taxes like pizza. So it's the 999 plan, and I don't remember.
Wait, is that German? Like 999?
No, 9%, 9%, 9%. It was like 9% sales tax, 9% income tax. I don't remember all the details. All I remember is that he died of COVID after claiming it was fake for like a year. Rip Herman Cain. So I guess we're all just following in Herman Cain's brilliant footsteps of pizza, but with 3s instead of 9s.
It was
Sorry,
that a square root or a division? Because that really makes a difference on how they thought
the
this
square root of Herman Cain tax plan. That's what this is.
Then it's slightly less stupid. Okay, next questions from Discord.
Wait, I didn't.
Wait, he has to explain.
Oh, that's right. You got it. Yeah. How are they gonna defraud the world?
JFresh talking about Herman Cain's fucking 999 plan doesn't have anything to do with any of this.
Okay. Give us your cliff notes. Let's go.
Jump into the next fucking question. I have
I'm sorry. Well, just you're over there doing your thing, and I forgot you existed for a sec, just like Ron.
So basically, in order to affect this, we need 3% growth, we need a 3% deficit, and we need lower than 3% inflation, right? And so but we want all those things, but we also have to keep banks absorbing massive issuance at the short end. So we need treasury demand to remain really, really deep, right? Because we have to fund that 3% growth.
The deepest in the world, of course.
And so stable coins are being used or marketed, right? As I mean, they're it's a little bit of two things, right? So they're being structured legally as a way to, or the attempt is to structure them legally as a way to create an additional set of structural buyers, much like we have prime dealers now who come into the treasury market and will, buy the ass end of the auction that no one else wants. Well, now we'll have more of those people, right? Because these stablecoin issuers will have to. And it's also a great way to privatize our banking system. So every dollar stablecoin issued under a regulated reserve model will be effectively another claim backed by cash or T-bills. Okay. But this doesn't destroy debt, right? You can create a bleed in the system that destroys debt by, like having like a structural fee, right? That takes like, one point off of every transaction. And kind of like fine these stablecoin issuers in order to get them to repay debt. But really, it's like a new distribution system for treasuries that repackages debt. So if a stablecoin issuer buys a treasury bill, the US government still owes the money. The liability is not gone. It's just that the owner changed. So the debt was distributed in kind of like a new wrapper, basically, and pawned off to somebody as like the next phase of financial innovation, which it's not. And this is even more true for like the tokenized MBS and private credit. So by putting a mortgage bond or a private loan on a blockchain, that doesn't remove any of the risk, right? Like the duration and the credit and liquidity and prepayment and leverage, all of that shit's still there. It just makes the claim easier to move around and sell. So it makes it like the adjunct claim more liquid. And so like basically this is another attempt by Wall Street to take, well, not even Wall Street, by the administration and a few private companies to take something super illiquid, wrap it, put it in a new tranche, call it something else, and then say it's liquid collateral. So for private credit, this is great. This is a super attractive system because stablecoins give them instantaneous settlement. And tokenized treasuries give them a clean collateral source. And then tokenized loans and tokenized MBS give them yield, right? And that combination lets private credit funds raise global capital, move collateral faster, automate all their payment systems, and create the appearance of liquidity and assets that are not liquid. But it's just the appearance of liquidity. That sticking point is very important. So a lot of people are saying, oh, well, this can be used as debt destruction, but the debt doesn't vanish. It just gets pushed into new private sector areas, right? And the US exports the treasury ownership through stable coins, and the stablecoin issuers capture the yield. Private credit gets more capital, and everyone's told that this is, the next phase, and we can eliminate the Fed, which is a fantasy, right? But because stablecoins still depend on banks and repo and treasury liquidity and the Fed treasury backstop if there's a crisis, except they don't have access to any of those things, and there's no regulatory structure with which to protect them. So the system looks like an alternative to the Fed, but if it gets stressed, it will blow up and nothing can really step in to save it except the Fed, which can't step in to save it because it has no regulatory jurisdiction over it. And so basically, while tokenized treasuries and stablecoins can improve the settlement and expand some dollar access, they create more demand for bills. They can't really structurally affect anything at the long end. And so what the treasury will attempt to use them for is to try to drive rates at the long end down, giving like the government a handle on rates at the long and short end, right? So they can issue bills through the short end and affect yield curve control, and then only issue tokenized treasuries at the long end to try to bring the long end, well, to try to get a lever on the long end, but not actually release any US bonds at the long end, because they're going to just simply repackage the long-term debt that the banks are already fucked on.
So in the words of Jamie Dimon,
he's full of shit.
Besant full of shit? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This is a really good way to funnel a bunch of money into, like an opaque system, but that opaque system doesn't have any, it doesn't have any protections. And so it's just begging to get all blown up.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it 3x. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, let's just go for it.
Let's 999
it. And not the German way, no.
The Herman Cain way. Full-blown COVID.
Where you die.
Straight into the grave. Let's do it.
All right, next question from Discord. In Gammastrike with RTD V2 and live Greeks by Strike, we have the handy-dandy Gex bars on the price chart and the Gamma Greeks by Strikes chart. These are very helpful in identifying intraday support resistance. As spot moves towards a support resistance zone and picks up momentum, is there a way to measure/gauge whether spot has enough gamma to break through the support/resistance? In short, how can one use the live data tools to identify price targets from an intraday move?
I know exactly who asked this question. How dare you?
Name them. Name and shame.
No. I don't want to name and shame.
All right, you have to tell me privately, so I know.
I will. I'll tell you privately.
It's probably somebody JFresh has helped a lot.
Then I'm going to name and shame them.
Yeah, I guess I'll take this one. There might be, but it's
There's
very
there's an
experimental.
incorrect, there's a fallacy in the statement that like spot has enough gamma to do anything. Gamma is just relative to spot. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're asking the wrong question.
Well,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like
well,
their
the thing
premise is
that's
a little
that's
weird.
hard is that like it's not a perfect way to think about gamma because the gamma could be, I mean, it could be a resistance, right? And so whether spot has enough gamma to break through, I mean, I think what they're trying to say is whether spot has enough momentum to break through the gamma. And there's all sorts of things you could do to try to estimate it, but you can never actually know because you don't
The
know
gamma,
what's going to be enough to actually get somebody to close resistive gamma.
I mean,
That's the
I
thing
would
is
I
you're
would
trying to
say
say
the
is there
way
enough momentum to kill the gamma that's there?
the way I would identify it with the live data tools we have is I would look at the relative put or call premium and the IVs at the strikes above spot. Those options are likely sold, and if those start closing, the total premiums on either the put or call side, so if it's a downside move or an upside move, are going to spike, and that is an indication that those are being bought to close. And if those are being bought to close, spot is likely to continue because that is going to add momentum to the movement of spot. But none of that has anything to do with the movement of gamma, which is going to increase or decrease, kind of exponentially as you near that higher gamma bar. Like as spot gets closer to it, that becomes more resistive, not like. So like by breaking through it, you actually want the gamma to go down because the options are closing.
Well, yeah, it's also a function
Or
of time to expiry too. Like so, the gamma change by crossing a strike either direction is
yeah, then you get into speed.
yeah, no, exactly. It
Yeah.
is. It's,
I mean,
it's a
Speed is
consideration.
probably a better measure of the momentum there than gamma is.
Depending on
I
time
think
to close.
I think probably a good way to summarize this is that gamma is a measure of the current positioning. And what you really want to be able to do is figure out what that current positioning is going to do in response to what is happening right now.
and
Which,
that's speed.
opening or closing new positions, right? Or closing old positions, right? Which you can try to observe in changes in IV and looking at the put call bought sold amount, right? That Kirk was talking about. So
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, definitely.
it's also
Watch.
really hard on indices. So, trying to be fair to the person's question, maybe more so on individual stocks where the volume on the stock is more representative of like the total trading. Whereas like with an index like SPX, yes, that's moving the stock, but it's moving it through a lot of different roundabout ways. And you're not actually measuring, like, you kind of would have to be measuring the index and all 500 components of it as well, or at least the top 50, and doing some, volume weighted analysis that way, which, would probably cost us like $100 an hour to compute.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll turn it on for a few minutes a day. Never just wait for that few minutes.
It's probably one of those things that only works if you're tracking it for 3 months, so you get the full bought sold behavior over time of all the open contracts. One of those. Those are my favorite.
So we get the compute cost and the memory cost. Sweet.
Yeah, and
Let's
the
do it.
cache, and yeah.
Shit. Yeah, I think you watch IV more. I think as Girk referenced, and Jay Fresh kind of nailed it in terms of, there's the gamma by itself is a metric of sort of reactivity, but the reactivity of that reactivity, which is speed, might give you a pretty decent idea as well. So yeah. Next question's from Discord, and I know that Girk's gonna love this one. Is UFO disclosure by the U.S. government bullish or bearish for the market? The DoD released some declassified UFO files, and betting sites like Polymarket are favoring Trump disclosing UFOs and aliens by the rest of the year. For instance, bullish on major defense contractors that are studying the tech or reverse engineering like Northrop, LMT, SAIC, etc., or bearish on oil and fossil fuels. Upon learning we are not alone and that aliens actually exist, will people freak out and rush to cash out of their retirement accounts, lead to bank runs or a liquidity crisis in the markets? Or, as we've seen lately with chaotic news, SPX rockets even higher. Also, an addendum. What's the air wind speed of an unladen UFO?
2 times the speed of light.
Yes. 2C. There you go.
Okay. I'm going to start with, where are the Epstein files?
Is the Epstein files bullish or bearish for the market?
And then I'll follow that up with my favorite hypothesis on aliens, which is there aren't fucking any. And if they find us, we are fucked. And that's because if an alien civilization were to discover us, that would mean their technology is drastically more advanced than anything we could even conceptualize. Finding us would represent an uncertainty to their civilization, which is drastically more advanced than ours. And if they wait to see how we evolve technologically, they could lose the ability to act first. And so therefore the safest move for them is to destroy our civilization before it can become a threat, like pest control.
But have you considered the possibility that they find us to be incredibly sexy?
Ooh, they can fuck us? Look, all I'm going to say is, like I said it earlier, right? The aliens see our planet. They wouldn't want anything to do with us. Our planet's covered in water. All right? They have no use for water. Okay?
But our planet's full of resources.
It's also covered in water. So to get to those resources,
they'd
have to get through this
iron core.
They have to get through this
we have
highly
Hershey's chocolate
corrosive
as well.
shell of water.
They have faster than light technology, Dork.
Probably runs on water.
Right? Yeah, it's just all electrolysis based and then hydrogen fusion or some shit.
It's just a fucking steampunk engine.
Right.
It's just a better one than what we could think of.
No, yeah. I honestly, so UFOs are kind of like nuclear war, slightly bullish, but mostly mixed in terms of individual equities. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of reverse engineering and things. We've actually been studying this shit for a while. But the thing is that the technological revolutions that would come from something like that
Dork,
have not necessarily materialized.
Stop humoring this shit.
I'm going to humor it for at least a minute. I've got 12 seconds left of my humoring, okay?
Also, as the follow-up to the air wind speed of an unladen UFO, Tic Tac or saucer?
Ooh. That's a good question. Tic Tac or saucer?
I mean, what if it's spherical?
What if it's dildo shaped? What if it's shaped like warm nuts in a small spherical package, stuffed between two thigh-shaped?
Okay, next question.
Next questions from I don't even know where. Has Ron actually made money ghosting the trading with Gammastrike plays, or is he as bad of a trader as the rest of the pickle jar?
Ron can unmute and answer this himself.
If Ron. He wants to.
All right. So I'm still working on the podcast, so let that speak for what it is. But I'm not too bad. But I'm not trading professionally at this point.
Year to date, Ron.
Yeah. Year to date,
right,
I'd say
next week, Ron will give us a complete analysis of the year-to-date returns for
this trade history.
Trading
I
with
need that.
Gammastrike.
We got to audit this.
Yeah, percentage and notional.
Oh, shoot.
Ron,
Give
that
us
is
the
a
full audit.
signed fiduciary duty as per our agreements.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna get Barl on his ass.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, yeah, good luck. I'll see what I can do.
Dude, we're gonna have so much fun with Ron's fucking trading history. It's gonna be disgusting. Okay, well, with that, I think it's time to move on to the best part of the entire show, which is, of course, stupid bets. Stupid bets. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? Oh Christ!
So I
Jay
won the
Fresh
main
won.
and lost the parlay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I had a fun thing for durable goods.
Did you?
Yeah. So if you remove China's order of airplanes from Boeing,
I knew you were
from
going to
durable
technicalize
goods-
your victory.
No.
Let's go.
I didn't win because I said like I lost the main one, right? This was the tail. But I do want to point out that if you remove the airplanes from durable goods, the one-time fucking purchase of airplanes, durable goods was negative 1.1%.
Ooh.
So
Which
if you
is
remove durable
almost
goods
as-
from the durable goods measure, it's
just the airplanes that Trump promised to sell
just
weeks
the
before
most
this report
biggest
printed.
and durable of durable goods.
Can I point out that those airplanes are not sold? So they should not be included in durable goods sales?
No, you may not.
Okay. Those airplanes aren't even fucking built yet.
If you remove
They're not
all the
even- they're
durable
not even,
goods,
like-
it's perfectly flat.
The engineers at Boeing have not produced the sperm that will one day become those airplanes yet. Yet they are being
I don't think that's how
reported
airplanes are made.
in durable
I think it
goods.
is, Jay Fresh. Girk would
I think
know.
you need to
All right.
study how
Wait.
airplanes are made.
Yeah,
again.
you
The
need to
Max
learn more
737,
engineering.
the composite is made of sperm.
No, a baby
Yeah, that's what
airplane
I mean.
is
That's what I've
made
learned
when
at,
two daddy
what they do
airplanes love
in
each other.
the workshops at Boeing is they just stand around and jerk off, and that's why the flight doors come off mid-flight.
Well, they jerk off the plane and then inseminate the girl plane,
Yeah,
and then the baby plane is made.
and
It starts
the
off as
problem
like a-
the
like a
problem with the
Cessna.
newer planes has been that they've really been using the same family of planes
Yeah, that's a
for this
monoplane.
insemination
Right.
process over and over again. And that's why the planes aren't as good as they used to be, because they're starting to run into some issues with the inbreeding.
It takes some engineering classes, Jay Fresh. Jeez.
Yeah, seriously.
Idiot.
So how many generations are we away from a JD Vance plane?
20.
That was an Appalachia joke.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god.
All right. I love my QCEW. I would like to bet. I propose. I motion that our main bet be that one of the months from QCEW that's published on Tuesday are negative.
I'm not going to bet against that.
One of the months?
At least one. Or we could do how many months, like we could just bet on how many
6.
months are negative. There's only 3 that they're releasing. Has to be 0.
Okay,
1,
okay,
2,
wait.
3.
So we say so I guess
3.
we could call this recession, stagnation, or boom, right? Recession
Wait.
is 2 months being negative. Stagnation
No.
being less than 2
Recession
months.
is 2 quarters. This
2
is
quarters.
This
This is
would
1
be that,
quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Question.
That's right. Lame.
Are these like seasonally adjusted?
Don't think so. That's part of the reason why they're super late, because they're like just based on.
It's like
Do
there's
they
some guy who
revise
walks
them?
around asking people if they have a job.
They can revise, so they revise them. They're able to be revised, I think, through the end of this year.
They'll all be slightly positive,
Okay.
like 0.1% or whatever the like lowest possible positive value is.
Just remember, September was 0.1, so it'll just be like a flat.
Yeah, it'll just be perfectly
Okay.
flat. Yeah.
Okay. Not even any zeros. Okay.
Zeros will be rounded up to 0.1% positive.
Okay, so Girk says all positive. What do you say, Jay Fresh?
2 months. Negative.
Of negative? Okay. Okay. I'm going to say 1 month of negative.
That's what he wanted first.
You could have been a man.
I said
And
all
gone with
positive, and that
3.
forced him into 2 negative.
Do you want me to go all 3 negative? I'll do it.
No.
but-
As
This-
a man, a real man would just pick what he wanted and not
These
be
are
swayed by
these
peer
these
pressure.
stupid
That's what
bets
I
things
did.
really aren't us
know.
betting. It's just us playing fucking mind games with each other.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's just this whole podcast. That's basically everything we've done ever with each other.
It's all humanity, bro. I mean, come on. Let's get deeper, bro. Come on.
Forming
I don't want
an
to get
LLC
deeper into
is
your
just
head
part
with
of
your
the mind
dick-shaped
game.
UFOs.
They're peanuts in a
I feel
dick
like
shape.
I'm okay staying surface level on you.
Peanuts? Not even like almonds or cashews?
No, peanuts. Just straight peanuts.
Ugh, God.
The cheapest
know.
nut.
Exactly.
Are they boiled?
That was
so
my
they have
nickname
some
in high
give?
school. Was the cheapest nut.
The
actually.
only cheaper nut in those pants is Dorks.
Correct. Absolutely correct. 1 beer and you got me. All right. You got me for 10 minutes in the bathroom.
Oh God, Dork.
10 minutes, 10 whole minutes of fun. It's like 2 minutes of fun and then 8 minutes of crying, but we don't talk about the second half. So
I'm into crying.
I know you are. That's why we're together. Anyways, thanks
Okay,
for listening
not
to fucking
together.
Vol Stars, right?
All right, see you next week in Pakistan.
Thank you for listening to Volstars, a Gammastrike production. Please be sure to subscribe and check out our website at app.gammastrike.com.
The opinions and views expressed herein are as of the date of publication, subject to change without notice, and may or may not necessarily reflect the institutional views of Gammastrike or its affiliates. The material provided is intended for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, a recommendation from any Gammastrike entity to take any particular action, or to offer or solicit to purchase or sell any securities or financial products. This material may contain forward-looking statements. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Neither Gammastrike nor any of its affiliates make any representations or warranties expressed or implied as to the accuracy or completeness of the statements of information contained herein, and disclaim any liability whatsoever for reliance on such information for any purpose. Each name of a third-party organization mentioned is the property of the company to which it is related, is used here strictly for informational and identification only, and is not used to imply any ownership or license rights between such companies and Gammastrike.